Home is where the retirement money is. Who's been saying this for years? Your old buddy Josh. Vanguard's finally jumping on the train here. It's interesting. So here's an article that I got in my stack of stuff that we're going to go over. Actually, it's a good article. It ticks me off in a way. It's a good article about, but it's all right. All right, so we got Kevin Kang, PhD, Kate McKinnon, PhD, and Gina Rocha. Ooh, she's pretty, huh? The Spanish girls, man, they are smoking hot. That's a fact. How dare you, Josh? How dare you? I don't care. I'm an old man. Don't care. Don't care. It's all good, man. It's all good. All right, so about 80% of Americans age 60 and over are owners of their home. Oh, there's in my book, 2009, 82% were owners. In 2014, 80% were owners. And of those 80%, 2/3 have no mortgage. All right? That's actually not of the 80%. That's 66% of people age 60. I got to put the age. Oh, right there. Yeah, age over 75. There you go. Cool. It is right there. This is from my forthcoming book, by the way. 66 of people over the age of 75 have no mortgage. They own their home with no mortgage. I had a guy the other day comment like about my inflation thing. He goes, yeah, but a lot of these people have rent. No. I mean, yeah, millions of people have rent. The vast majority of us don't. And I hate to say it, man, you have to worry about you. We can't worry about the vast majority of people. You have to worry about you. So if you're not a renter and you have a house, you're most likely you're going to be debt free once you're over the age of 75, dude. I mean, if not earlier, but just what I'm saying. So 80% of Americans own their own home. Again, OER is not applicable to you if you own your own home. So CPI is inherently suspect. It should not be used. There's no other way around this. Let me just show it again. I can't get over this. We're going to go back to my book. And we're going to go back to here, CPIE. All right. And we're going to show you. Actually, let's go down to, wait, let's go to OER here. Is that, yeah, right here. Shelter, 32% of shelter. 32% of the totality of CPI is for shelter. Of shelter is divided into two things. Rent of primary residence is 7%, and owner's equivalent rent is 24%. Thus, when it comes to total CPI, 32% is for things that aren't applicable to you if you own your own home, OER and rent of primary residence. Again, for my forthcoming book. It's freaking nuts. All right. And with housing wealth accounting for approximately almost 50% of their median net worth. My housing wealth is more than 50% of my median net worth. I'll tell you that right now. Consider an individual homeowner who purchased a primary residence in Boston in the 1990s. This home would have enjoyed rapid appreciation significantly above the national average and would now be valued at $500,000. I don't have my calculator to see how much that is a rate of return, but it is way. So 92, she bought a house in Boston for $170. Now it's 2023, sitting on $500,000. As she starts her retirement in Florida in her 60s, the investor will still be able to unlock $200,000 of the capital gains on her Boston home if she were to go. So basically, she selling her house in Boston for $500,000, buying a house in Florida for $300,000, is walking away with $200,000 smackers. Retiring and relocating could be useful for many retirees. Investigating millions of migration records from the ACS, American Community Survey, we find that roughly 60% of movers aged 60 and above go to a cheaper housing market. Over a 10-year period, that translates to 25% of all retirees having the potential to shore up their retirement fund through relocation. And here's what ticks me off. This contrasts sharply with the general lack of traction in reverse mortgages. All right, yeah, well, okay. It's just like they have this, I don't know, it's weird how they just don't like reverse mortgages. Anybody, it's weird. The United States has a mobile population that may move multiple times for college, employment, lifestyle, and financial considerations. Your old buddy Josh has moved multiple times. And I like moving. I like seeing new places. I get bored of the same place. In fact, we see right here, in the 20s, you move, a quarter of the people moves annually to get a job. In the 30s, an eighth of the people move annually, and that slowly declines, mostly while your kids age. And this is what happened to us. So we moved last here in 2013. I'm 52 now. Yeah, right in here. So I've been 42, and we haven't moved since. And we won't move until my kids are out of the house. So we probably won't move until 58, maybe 60. Oh, there's a jump right there. But see, a lot of older people don't want to move. That's the issue here. So 6% of the population, basically 6% of the population age 60 or over moves. I guess they say 70. I guess 70. Yeah. So 7% of the population over 60 moves every year. Yeah, that's about a quarter will move. And any what's that? About 7%, 14. Yeah, about 60%. I guess was right. About 60% will move most likely over your lifetime in retirement. Pretty interesting. Older individuals clearly move less. Roughly 7% of the age 60 and above population. There you go. 7% of the age 60 or above population moves annually. In this age group, 35% of all moves are within the same county. The rest involve crossing either in-state county lines or state borders. So here they're saying, and here's the issue though. If you're moving within the same county, it's probably not going to be downsizing or unlocking a whole bunch of equity. I mean, I guess you could. I here in Fulton County, I could, unless I moved to South Fulton County, and I can't do that, obviously. Anyway, so here we got a third of the population is moving within counties. It's going to be tough to downsize and unlock equity there. Inter-county, so I can move from here to Gilmer County, which is one of my things I'm planning on doing. So that would be a move where I can unlock my equity and hopefully buy a smaller house, if that makes sense, and use that equity to fund my retirement. Interstate, only 1/5 of people actually move interstate each year. I've always said this, man. People are like, they're flooding Idaho from California. Well, not as many as you think. I know it seems like there's a ton, but there's not. I mean, 20% of the people actually moved are leaving California, going to Idaho or going to Texas. And again, if they're all right wingers, that's what I said after Trump lost, because free and fair, my vote counted. I didn't know I was going to vote for Snippy Joe, but it counted. But anyway, so that if 20%, I mean, that's what I said back in 2020. If 1% of Republicans in California moved, that would change, and they moved to Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Texas to resecure Texas, North Carolina, Virginia, that would change everything, because there's more Trump voters in California than there were in Texas. Just shows you how big that flipping state is. There were more Trump voters in California than even in Texas. So if 1% of all Trump voters moved every year, because California's lost, dude. But Nevada isn't. They got a Republican governor now. Arizona is close to being lost, but not quite. Thanks for Ducey, that freaking fool. All right. Anyway, so here we got an example. Oh, right here. How many people might be using the retire and relocate strategy? The 7% annual mobility figure implies about 52% of all U.S. retirees migrate over a 10-year period, with 93% staying put each year. Applying the average 80% home ownership rates to this group and a 61% share of non-local movers from Figure 2, we arrive at an estimated 25% of all retirees who could use the strategy over a 10-year period. And they say less than 2% use of reverse mortgages by the same group. Because again, reverse mortgages get a bad rap, but we're working on that. But anyway, it makes sense to you. You're like, all right, I'm going to relocate and move from here to Gilmer County. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm just using that for example. So 25% of all people over 60 can unlock a significant portion of the equity by retiring to a cheaper cost place. Here's an example. A 65-year-old California resident with a primary who lives in Santa Clara relocates to Merced, in an adjacent county in the same state, upon retirement. And the average prices in 2019 were basically $600 in Santa Clara and $266 in Merced. Assuming full ownership of the Santa Clara house and no mortgage financing for the new house, we could estimate that this relocation would unlock $330,000 of home equity. This is exactly what I want to do right here. So you're going to buy a new house. So basically a $600,000 house, you're going to sell it, and you're going to buy a $300,000 house, just for all basic intents and purposes. We have our house and we have $300,000 cash money. That's exactly what I want to do. All right, let's keep going here. There's a couple other things I want to highlight down here. Yeah, a lot of stuff on, it's just stupid stuff. I didn't like it. We're going to go to conclusion. Although home equity represents the most prevalent and often most significant source of wealth for American households, there has not been a commensurate focus on the use of this wealth in retirement. Our results challenge the narrative that housing wealth is off limits to most retirees and highlights a previously underappreciated channel relocation is a cheaper housing market. 100%, man. I mean, let's take a look. Oh, there's Merced, California. That's freaking gorgeous, dude. It's let's see. So the San Joaquin Valley, wherever that is, has a population of 86,000 people. The gateway to Yosemite, less than 2 hours from the Yosemite National Park in Monterey. Freaking new Merced is rocking, right? Anyone ever been there? I've never been there. Let's take a look. We want to look at demographics. How much do they vote for Republicans versus the Dems? Because we don't want to be around the Dems because we know what they're going to do. Let's see. The average income in Merced was for a household 50,000 schmackaroonies. All right, 52% white, 6% black, 12% Asian, 22% other races. Hispanics were 50%. So if you're white, you're a majority minority, whatever that's called. I know it's called. All right, so we see what. So we got to look at. Does they say the population in terms of who they vote for here? Very, very diverse, dude. Very diverse, and diversity is critical, or else you will not have a good life if you're not. I thought they said they're who they vote for in here. Yeah, I don't know. Is Merced pretty liberal, guys? You tell me. All right, so let's look at Zillow. We're gonna look at Merced, and we'll just say, I don't know, friggin', what do we say? We'll say $500,000 price, 500,000 schmackaroonies. And we're gonna say, we'll say 3 to 500. There we go. If we can do this right there, and we're gonna say single family. All right, let's get all that. Get this right here, and we're gonna say apply. And we're going to say bed and baths. And we'll say 3 beds, 2 baths. I mean, look, I'm not moving to California. You guys are crazy, but I'm just using this for an example. I just want to see what they look like. Oh, here we go. $459. Nice little house, dude. So let's take a look at this guy. $459. No. All right. Looks like my house when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. Looks almost identical to it. So we had a big palm tree, which I planted. All right. There you go. Nothing wrong with that, man. Central air, built in 2016, single family residence. Probably got a tiny little yard on a postage stamp. All right, but anyway, you can buy a house in Merced, California. It looks all right to me. Would I want to live there? No, so I'm not moving to California. Here, knucklehead there. Hold on a sec. How dare a neighborhood dog walk by? All right, so anyway, so there you go, man. Don't be afraid to unlock your home equity. We've done videos on reverse mortgages. I'm not going to do that here, but for the love of me, man, if you're sitting in a crappy little house, actually, what's the property tax in Merced, California? Let's just take a look on this. Property tax. $5,000. So it's 1% roughly, and then you get your was it Prop 13 or is that still around? Prop 13, I think so. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you